Okay, so now I'm realizing that I really don't know what I was smoking when I put together this bridge here, because clearly I was not thinking very clearly. There are two reasons why. First of all, what the heck is this fillet? What is that doing there? That doesn't make any sense. So we're going to get rid of that. Secondly, we also want to make sure we have a place to tie the strings, right? The strings have to come over the saddle and then down, and then they have to tie onto something. We need a pattern of holes where we can put the string, and that's going to take some extra features. So let's jump in here and do that. First of all, this fillet gotta go. Let's edit this feature. Oops. Let's go find that fillet. Let's go back before we do that mirror operation. There we go. Let's edit that fillet. And I just don't want to do that edge. We'll just leave it on the other edge. Perfect. All right, that's good. And now we want to add a place where we can tie these strings, and we're going to need some space to do that. So let's go back before this fillet here. Perfect. And I'm going to grab this face and open up a sketch on it. And let's just drag out a rectangle straight across here, snapping at either side, and put a dimension on it for how big it is. I don't know, let's say it's 12 millimeters. And I'm really just kind of hacking and slashing at this because it's such a simple part. I really don't need to be very rigorous about things. We can always fix this stuff if something goes wrong later. And under the direction for this, I actually want it to go straight vertical. So let's grab that front plane so that we're moving in the direction of the front plane, just straight on up. And I want to go up by 5 millimeters. That should be enough. All right, that's good with me. And then when we go down and we do this fillet, I think that's probably going to do us. That's good. All right, so let's go ahead and do our mirror operation here. Get the rest of that stuff in there. Looks good. And now we just need to get in the spots where we're going to tie off our strings. And for that, we're going to need that new sketch that we just created, which is called the string position saddle sketch that we created. And there it is, right in there. You can see all the positions for our individual strings. So let's just create a new sketch right here on this guy. And it turns out, well, there are two issues here. First of all, it looks like our bridge is not nearly wide enough. That's going to be a problem. But before we deal with that, let's just kind of make sure we got plenty of space here. Let's put these holes in. Let's put this first high E string hole right where it needs to be. Oops, not coincident. Let's make this vertical. So that's right above there. Perfect. And then I'm going to draw actually a center line from here to here, vertical center line, and then give this a midpoint constraint on that so that our hole will be dead in the middle of our little 5 millimeter boss there. Let's make this 1.5 millimeters or so. That should work pretty well. That looks good. And then we're going to do an extrude cut. And that's going to take us straight through this guy. I'm going to go all the way through. Let's say through all instead of blind. And you can see it's going straight through, and I actually want it to go down at an angle. I want it to go at the same angle as the top edge of this guy. So let's do, under the Direction tab, we're just going to grab this edge. So it just goes straight in that direction. That looks good. Perfect. Click OK. And then finally, this is going to shear our string if we're not careful. And since we're putting these holes in with drill bits, rather than a fillet, let's actually put a chamfer. So let's grab this, and we could actually just use a drill bit with an angle on it to just kind of countersink these a little bit. That looks good. Okay. So now we have holes that are ready to accept strings, at least one hole that's ready to accept strings. And finally, we can just create the other holes. We'll just go to our pattern features. We'll do our sketch-driven pattern. Select our pattern locations. Under features to pattern, we're going to want both that hole and the chamfers. And we're going to need a reference point, right? So let's select this first point as our reference point. And then it's going to pop those in to just the right places. Click OK. That looks pretty darn good, right? Not too shabby. Now let's figure out why the heck this is the way it is. I don't know why that's that length. Let's edit this. Why is that like that? Let's give that some thought and come back to it.